All right. Hey, everybody. Here, Barbara Horde with I Am This Woman. I know, this is so funny to have this wonderful, amazing woman who I call my soul sister on the show. And our guest today is Tamrah Barber. Yes, I am floored and beyond excited to have you on the show. Let me talk about Tamrah first and foremost, because it's like, who is this woman? Who is she? And what is she all about? And so give me 2 seconds, because I always like to make sure, like, I love promoting people and making sure that they know, like, hey, we are here and sharing it and letting us know what is going on. So let's talk about Miss Tamrah Barber, because when I say I am this woman, yeah, this is what I mean by I am this woman. So Tamrah, right, is, first of all, a corporate leader, mother of five, God bless her soul, wife to an amazing husband, right? Transformational trainer, certified coach, and she's created a powerful leadership program. She's joining us to see, so you can see what happens when you honor your truth and you live a life on purpose. Tamrah, girl.
Let me just say, I am so excited to be here, Barbara. I watch your shows all the time, and I'm sitting there, and I always flash back to that moment when we first met, and I knew that, like, we were going to be connected.
Yeah.
Like, I knew your love for this work and, like, work with women, and I'm just so excited to see you in your element. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you so much. It's so interesting too, because it's very interesting when you're going down the path to try to figure out what is it that you want to do and what are you passionate about. And I always say, what is your essence, right? Mm-hmm. And I've tried it a number of different ways. And then this came, and when this came, I was like, I'm going to do a little show on Facebook, and like your show number 23.
Nice.
I know, blows my mind. And we have another like 15 shows on the books. Website coming, workshops coming, some things for women that are going to differentiate how we do women's empowerment, and just really honoring women. So it's so exciting. I'm super excited. But today is about you and who you are and what you're up to. And like I said, I mean, when I think about it, like corporate leader, mother of five, wife, transformational trainer, certified coach. Then you create, okay, if you just did that, it would be like, yes, girl, go, right? If you didn't, then you said, something's missing in this world and for teens, and I want to create something. And you didn't just create it, right? Oh, Jorge's watching, and he's like, hi, Tamrah, I love you. And then Tracy, who's like, good morning, ladies. And so here you are. Tell us, because I want to go into this. There's so many parts of this that I want to talk about, that I'm so excited that you're here. First of all, this is my soul sister, right? We really say that to each other since the day we met. Let's talk about you, and let's start off with that powerful leadership program that you created. What is it about?
Yeah, so it's about having teens get that they matter, and it's a long story, but I'm going to try to make it short. As a mom of five, one thing I noticed as my kids were growing up, is that as they got older, the crowds got smaller and smaller and smaller. I coached basketball for my kids' teams. I coached AAU boys basketball. And I just noticed, and one of the things that one of my players said to me one day, he was just like, he was really sad. And this was like an incredible player. He actually made it on ESPN for a slam dunk and like shattered the backboard. And so he was highlighted as number one on ESPN's top 10. And he said to me, the one thing that I really miss is having my mom here. In that moment, it really landed for me that when teens get to a certain age, we are like hands off, and like we're just not present anymore as much as we were when they were little.
Right.
My kids were little. It's like the stands were full of, the entire family was there to see them.
Right.
So I noticed that there was a gap. And so my kids, as they were growing up, their friends would like, I would never let my kids like go stay at someone else's house. I was like one of those parents. I ended up being like the cool mom because I would have all their friends come to our house. That way I could supervise, see what was happening, see what kind of, friends they were creating and coach them along the way.
Right.
And that was the gap that I saw. And so when finally in my life I did transformational work, it blew my mind. And the first thing I said was, where was this work when I was a teen? Like, why am I just not learning this? Like, where has this been all my life?
Right.
And I decided in that moment, I actually enrolled my daughter into a teen because they had a teen training.
Mm-hmm.
It was only one weekend. And I was like, that would be just like doing part one and nothing else. After a while, it's gone and, you're back to your old habits, etc. I was like, teens need a full journey too. And I'm like, I looked and there wasn't one. And so I was like,
and what do we do when there's not? What do we do? We create.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And it wasn't like it was in a space that I wasn't familiar. Prior to that, I had built, I worked in youth ministry like practically all my life. My kids grew up in like some type of youth ministry. And I ended up leading all of them because that was just who I was. I love teens. I connected with them on a different level than most people that I saw working with them. And it was just a no-brainer. By that time, I had all the skills from my corporate life, building programs,
Mm-hmm.
I had all the skills to create what I wanted to create. And so with Trainer Form and Ray and Betty really supporting me on that journey, I was able to create something that I look at now and it literally blows my mind because I know that was a download from the Most High. Like the things that I wrote, I can't even explain it. It was just like I started writing and it was like, and it just like came out of me.
I completely understand that because I know with building this, it's like when you find your space, when you really connect with that, it changes everything. It changes everything. And I think to me, it's something that's within you, that's always been within you, and then you align with it. And it's almost like you're here, you're like, what's missing? What's missing? And like you come home, and when you do, that's it. And what I love is how many teens have taken, like, how long have you been in business, and how many teens have taken your program?
Yeah, I should like have that at the top of my mind, but I'm a type, and it's like I've been at it for about this program in particular. I think we started in 2014, maybe 2014 or 15, and then I went nonprofit. So I've probably been doing it for several years now, and I've probably touched over 500 teens in our programs each year. And at this point, well, before Corona, I was doing 28 trainings a year.
Wow.
Teaching like all levels, all modules. There's 4 modules. There's Discovery, Unleashed, Generation Lead, and then Teen Life Mastery. So I've been training all 4 of those different cycles in North Carolina and in Florida. And I was supposed to be launching in New York this year.
Right. But now, see, I know, okay, so good. COVID-19 came, which to me sometimes put a little kick in your butt, right? So you didn't just say, oh, I can't do these trainings anymore. What are you doing now with that?
Yeah, so we just created an online version. I'm literally in the midst of polishing it off and getting it ready because we're launching June 19th and 20th, coming up next month, almost this month. And it's our first online version. And I'm really excited about it because I've always wanted to do it online because I did international live streaming. And so I work with an organization called 20K Nation, led by Katia Barbanova, who's amazing. Another woman that you get to have on this show. She's incredible. And she created this online community and we live stream. And so I've got connections across the world. And people want to enroll their teens, but getting them here internationally has been a challenge. Sure. And now we're going online, and I'm likely going to have lots of teens from all over the world. And so I'm probably going to have to like launch the online version, and I'll be doing some of them at like 4 a.m. just because of the time change. Oh, so yeah,
wow.
Too, and It's on. The teams are excited, and I'm excited.
And that's what it's about, because here's the thing about it. Life is going to throw curves at us. It's If doing transformational training, you learn that it's like, if you stop at that first, fork in the road, and you're like, oh, I don't know which way to go. And so what you've done is you've opened this up, and now not only have you opened it up for the teens who are involved already, but now you've extended it to international. You're talking about impacting lives across the globe. All right.
Yeah.
And this is our future, and I've had the privilege of being in these classes, and like watching you in total awe. And then what I love in your program is that the teens are like the captains of these programs. They are training. They're like not training, but they're coaching these kids. I'm in awe when a 13-year-old stands up and coaches her fellow peers. Blows my mind every time. Every time.
Yeah, that's another concept that I've always had. I've always had the idea that teens can do anything adults can do. And so when my kids were younger, I used to direct the choir as well. The youth choir. And they were like learning these little kid songs. I was like, no, they need to learn songs. I broke them up with different,
Right.
different like tenors, altos, and we did like extremely difficult songs.
Wow.
And they blew it out of the water. We got invited to sing all these different places. So I always believe that teens can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I started the program, my goal was to make sure, just like in the adult program, we have teen staff. We have teen captains. And so we have teen captains like 14, 15 years old that are managing a team of adults and teens through the entire process, making sure that everyone knows what their jobs are and gets everything done. And like those skills, to learn them at this age, like they have no idea how much farther ahead of their peers.
Not at all. And what I think that you do is that you look at them from a place of, you see like this, you already see what's possible. You already see what they could do. And then you open up the space for them to see it, and I think that that's what makes the difference here, is because sometimes I was listening to one of your teams today who was in your program, Wilkinson. He had just picked up his diploma, and oh my gosh, he's talking to his friend, and he's telling him like, you know what, I'm the first one like that's going to graduate like from college. This is what I'm doing. I'm going off to college. I'm going to be here. I'm going to make the difference. And he said it, and he was sitting there, and he goes, there's no sense of me being on this earth if I don't like live it completely with this passion and with making sure that I live this complete life. And I was blown away, at 19, that his mentality is that,
Yeah, Wilkinson is amazing. He's an amazing human being. I had the honor of being on his journey with him and being his trainer and facilitator. And let me tell you, he is going to make a huge impact in this world. Jorge, I tell Jorge all the time, like, I love you for life, man. Like the gift that you have given the young people that he is with, it's incredible.
Right. Yeah.
To have him and Wilkinson be part of the Extreme Team Leader program, like I said, he made such a huge impact for his team. Like he was a major component. Like his team would not have been the same without him.
Wow.
Like, major impact.
And what's so interesting is I've been able to really watch him grow and really spend a little bit more time with him and see what a brilliant young man he is and what he is committed to doing, and talking about how we need to be the change, with what happened in Minnesota, with everything that's going on. He's like, we get to turn around and be the change. We get to vote. We get to make sure that and he says, I want to leave this world better for myself, but for my kids. He says, I want to leave this world better for my kids. I don't want to just take from the world. And when I was listening to him, I was in joy this morning, and I was like, of course, this morning I'm listening to a teen who went through your program doing this,
Yeah, we focus a lot on making an impact. That's a big part of the messaging, that it's not just about you, it's about your purpose and your vision and why you're here and what you want to create on this earth with your life, because you're not here by accident.
Never,
You're
never,
here with
never.
everything on this planet is created with purpose.
Right. And I love that. I love that being in that space to be able to do that. And,
Yeah.
Jorge gives a little heart because I think he's like, I sent Jorge a message this morning. I said, I just want you to know you should be proud. You should be proud of what you're doing. And this is the difference is that it doesn't always have to be your child. Like, you never know the intersections that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And the young man, like I'm watching him, he's incredible. So what is it that like, because this is one part of your life. Okay. So talk to us because, the whole thing was about when you honor your truth and you live your life on purpose, how are you living your life on purpose?
Yeah, that is a great question. When you find it, and I'm trying to even think back the moment that I found it, I think I found it long before I realized I found it. And figuring out how to carry it out, what mechanism I was going to use to carry it out, that was a challenge too. As a mom of 5, and the way that I connected with teens, I was coaching this basketball game one time, and we were winning, and the referee was this older guy, and you could tell like he was one of those older like church guys that mentor young people. And he said to me, he was like, "You have an anointing to work with young people." And in that moment, I was like, we're in the middle of a game. We're roughing the game. And that he just dropped that. And I was like, wow, okay. And he didn't tell me that. I knew that.
Yeah.
And so I started really coaching. And it was funny because even the way that I started coaching, my son came to me and wanted to start an AAU team because he was playing for. We didn't like the coaches, and it was just a lot. And so I gave him a leadership challenge. I was like, okay, you want to do this? This is how Extreme Team Leaders started. I was like, all right, you and Mark, which was his best friend still to this day, you and Mark go out and you guys create the team, design the uniform, find out everything you need to know about creating a team, and then I will support you. They did it. And that was Extreme Team Leaders. XTL Sports Club was the first part of Extreme Team Leaders that happened. And we started coaching. And as I was coaching, parents from the other team would come over and be like, oh my gosh, like your guys are so amazing. Like they're so compassionate on the court. Like, how can we get involved? And so every time we play somebody, the other team would come on, and before you knew it, they were playing with us. So when I saw that happening, I was teaching them leadership skills because I knew that what I taught them on the court, they'd be able to apply off the court.
Yes.
And what I decided was that was the most important thing that I needed to be focusing on, was teaching them the leadership skills. And so I gave myself over fully. That's another thing. I gave myself over fully to creating Extreme Team Leaders and creating the curriculum that would support them finding their magnificence, again, and living out their purpose, finding out what that was. Because ultimately, I want them to get that they matter, that they have a purpose, create their vision, and then go rock that thing. Like, is it? And so that's how I found my purpose, and I've been living it ever since. And I wake up every morning. It doesn't matter how tired I am. It doesn't matter how, I feel that day. Just knowing that I'm clear on my purpose and that I get to do this every day and that kids' lives are at stake. I'm in it. And like, I'm so clear. I was telling Sam the other day, which is why I love what you're doing. Another part of what I enjoy is working with women. That's not my call right now. Right now, I'm focused on teens and my empowerment, and empowering women has always been something that I just do. Right.
Yes.
When I coach people, when I work with people, my stand is to empower. And once you get clear on your purpose, which to empower or whatever it is for you, give yourself over to it, and you just get to decide how you're going to carry that out. And that's your vision. So my vision is with teens right now.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because I remember we had talked a while, like me coming in and staffing and all that. I'm like, yeah, 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 and it took me a while, right? And then when I did forget it, then I was like obsessed with it. Not only that, brought my two nephews into it, which are I
Uh,
know, right? Oh my gosh, there's
I love them. Oh.
so I love watching them grow and watching them speak and stand up in front of groups and just and then watching them change at home. It's so neat to see that in my family and how you've impacted my family. But I think also what it did is that when I watched you, I'm like, I knew you've always said, look, I see you. You're gonna do it. You're gonna figure your thing out. And then I was like, oh, I think I got something. And then it's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm doing a show. And then I think I got something. But you inspired me to really own that. And I know how I'm showing up now is so differently. And whether it's waking up or staying up late. And the other night I was up to 1 o'clock in the morning working on something for the new website that's coming. But you do what you do because you're so passionate about it.
Yeah.
How do you balance? Because you've got I know your kids are, they're older in age, but you've got the 5 kids, you got a husband, you got a full-time job that involved a lot of traveling, and then you have this. How are you balancing all of that?
That's a great question. And the first thing that I had to accept was that there's no such thing as balance.
That's so true, boo. That's so true. Girl, you're like, we're going to church this morning because it really is
Yeah,
like,
it's a myth. There's no such thing as balance. I think what I've learned is that each day you look at what you want to accomplish on that day, you prioritize, and you just get it done. No excuses. And I'm telling you, this work, this work is life. Like transformational work is life because it has you make powerful declarations on things you want to accomplish and things you want to do, and then you surround yourself with people that will cheer you on.
yes,
And
yes.
that will be the wind underneath your wings to be like, yes, you can. And that's how you balance it. I mean, you spend time here, you spend time there. Literally, you use every moment of your life to matter. And if you're not giving out, then you're giving in with self-care, right? Really important.
Right.
Another lesson I had to learn. But I was flying before Corona. I was flying every weekend practically. Right. I was either in a training or working in corporate, doing my day job, which I love, which is I'm also coaching in my professional life now. That's a whole nother journey. But I love everything that I do. And when you begin to walk in your purpose and you're clear on that empowerment for me, at work, guess what? I'm empowering people.
Yes.
At home, guess what? I'm empowering people.
Yeah.
In the training room, I'm empowering people. And that's what I do. And I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. And I think why I love I Am This Woman is because whether you're, like you said, at work, you're this woman. At home, you're this woman. In the trainings, you're this woman. So when I got I Am This Woman, I was like, there's so many amazing, amazing men and women. That's what I'm loving is that men are coming on the show because they want to talk to women. They feel that this is such an important topic, right? And when I have a man that comes on at the end says, his name and says, I am this woman, I'm like, yes, because that's how we start to make the difference. Absolutely. Is that when you start to see yourself in that space, I think that's incredible. So what is your most memorable moment being in these trainings? Because I know there's so many of them, and I won't say even the most memorable. What are some of the moments that just really took your breath away?
Wow. There's so
I know.
One, I think there was one moment that, and I'll go with like recently. Well, let me say this. The first moment was when a teen wrote me a letter, and the gist of the letter said that I had saved their life. Like if they hadn't done this work, they wouldn't be here. And it literally shifted their life, and to the degree that now they want to help young people. And they want to go to college and become a therapist, a child therapist. And, this one person, Charlie is amazing. Charlie has flown with me um, to Florida to start the trainings in Florida. She
Wow.
staffed practically as many trainings as I can remember. And she is a powerful stand and a gift for young people. And I love her.
Yeah.
And so that moment made it so real for me. And I realized that the work I was doing was saving lives. And so every
Mhm.
time I have a young person come into the training and share, that they don't want to be here, like, it always brings me back to that moment. And it's amazing. And the other moment was when one of our staff members shared her life story. And like every teen in that room was like emotionally moved, and they surrounded her and hugged her, and it was a moment that you'll never forget.
Right. Yeah.
And the impact that she made on a teen that was in that training, that they were like mirrors, it changed that teen's life forever too. And
Hmm.
from that point forward, that teen showed up totally different and is still showing up different.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for me, being in there and seeing the teens and getting so connected with them. And when I get a letter from a teen, one teen wrote me a letter and she basically said, like, I see you. I see your strength. I see how amazing you are and how you connect with us. And you are so, I can't wait to see what you do. And this is a 15-year-old kid who's telling me that. And it really empowered me to say, wait a minute, what am I doing? What am I supposed to be doing? And so it supported me. And then with my nephews being there, and then when my nephew is having a conversation with me that says, thank you for bringing this into my life. It has changed my life forever. And who I am and how I show up, I'm blown away by that, because
Yeah.
you've impacted my family, which is, and I think you've impacted so many families, and I think that's what makes such a difference. I love when people put messages. So David, who was just on the show last week, he's like, yes, I am this woman. And I love that because I'm like, yes, that's what I'm talking
I
about.
love you. David is another powerful
Oh my
soul
God.
impacting young people. Like, yes.
Yes. And
David,
that's the thing about it. There's enough room for us to be here together to do this. And it's funny that, like you said, right now you're working with teens, but women's empowerment is so important. I said right now I'm working with women, but teens empowerment is so important to me. I love Yali, who was on our show, like
yes,
at the beginning, put a little smiley face because she is really about working with
absolutely.
young men and just encouraging them, and I think that that's the thing about it is I think this is where we stand together. This is where this is what the purpose of this show is created for. And, I love when you send me a message, like we had one of our teens, Zara, who was on, right? I met her in the teen program. She's incredible,
Incredible
brilliant young lady.
warrior. Zara is lit right now. She is lit.
So much so she was on the show. And then what I love is that you'll send me a message. You're like, you need Maya on the show. Like, I want to get Maya on the show. Oh, yes. 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 Yes.
Quickly, Maya, one of our XTL ambassadors, got featured in her local newspaper, and she wrote about the challenges that she was facing in navigating her sexuality. And she spoke about extreme teen leaders and how this program literally, and she's another one that actually came to me and said, like, thank you. Had I not come here, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
And
Yeah.
see the impact that she's making with people that are challenged in that area. I mean, I cried my eyes out when I read it, and I was like, oh my gosh, Barbara has got to interview this young lady.
Yeah. And I want you to connect us definitely. Like tell Maya, you get to be on the show because that's
Yes.
what it's about. And I love David. David just said, thank you, what you two are doing individually and together you're creating miracles. Thank you.
Oh,
And Yali said, yes, yes, teens are powerful beings.
indeed.
Oh my gosh, they really, really are. And I love that. And I love how you look at a teen, how you treat them, because I imagine incorporate how because it's our peers and how we talk to them and everything. But
Mhm.
I watch you in the training. I watch you when you tell adult staff too, go to the captain who's like 13 years old or 14 years old. And you're like, go to them. And can you imagine when a 14-year-old is directing you, right? And the respect you're giving them, the difference it makes in their life. I can tell you that my nephew, Izzy, I'm so much closer to him now because I didn't even know some of the stuff. And when he went in, it was the first night both Izzy and OBG said to me on the way home, they're like, so we're taking the whole class, right? Like, they're signed up for everything. They're still involved. They're like knee deep in it. And that's what you're doing. So I love that you're creating a space that you see their greatness. You see sometimes what they don't even see.
Yeah, and that is probably one of the biggest challenges and biggest gifts in this work, because it's challenging when you see their magnificence and they don't yet see it. But
Yes.
like, you have to meet them where they are
Mm-hmm.
and really trust the process, that at the end they will see it. Because
Yes.
we could tell them all day. I heard a trainer say, if we put you in the middle of the room and we shouted, "You're awesome, you're awesome, you're awesome," and in the middle of a stadium with everybody around you, like you still wouldn't believe it,
Right.
because
I
you
know.
see it. But it's only when you see it that you begin to embody it, and you show
Right.
up so much differently, and your results are different too. And so to have a team get that and not wait till they're like 40 something to get.
Right. And it's funny too, because when I got it, it still took me a while to start this show. And I look at it now and I think to myself, oh my gosh, but I know who I am is so much more like I am so clear that I'm meant to do this. I am so clear. First of all, girl, let me tell you something. Who told me that I can put myself like, I'm gonna have a TV show, I'm gonna do a radio show, I'm gonna do a podcast. All of a sudden,
Period. Poo is what Issa poo.
oh, it's like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to. And when people say like you got it, and I'm like, but it took me so long to figure that out. And so I love that fact when you're how it's impacting families, how it's making a difference, how it's impacting communities. It really is. And we're not saying that, you know what, people fall. It happens. But this here is a really beautiful foundation. And I think because you started so much earlier, this is what it's gonna build up on, you know.
Yeah,
I'm in awe. I'm in total awe of
yeah. It makes me think about Star, right?
it.
She shared with the team, and she gave me permission to share this too. When she first came into the program, she was struggling with getting along with her mom. And then about a couple weeks ago, I think it was her mom's birthday, she wrote to me, and she said, and she wrote to the group as well, that before the program, like, she didn't have a good relationship with her mom. And she was like, and now thanks to this program, like, my mom is my best friend. And she created a parade for her mom's birthday.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, it was so, it was so awesome. And then her dad, like, I love her dad so much too, and her dad loves the program and is so grateful for what we've created for them. I mean, to see the families come together and see teens
Yeah.
reestablish connections and begin to interact with their families and really see that they're on their team, right? It's not just that they have an XTL team, but you got a team
Right.
at home too.
Right. And when you talk about that a lot, that there's just so you come in the room and it's a great weekend and everybody's hugging and loving it. It's yes, yes, yes. But you always mention, like, look at your team at home. Like, you have a team. And I think that that's the big difference,
Yeah.
is that it's you really are bringing families back together.
Yeah, and the parent days are really powerful.
Oh
Into a
my,
parent day.
the parent days blow my mind. I sit back and I watch and I'm just like, when a parent I remember is a student and their parent, and they couldn't, like, they weren't connecting, they were talking Russian and Chinese. And so I got a chance to talk to the dad. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, how now he speaks to his daughter, how he sees her, how she sees him. What a complete and utter change.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I love that. I really love that. And when you start to have someone see you, you know, it's funny too, because David was one of my coaches, and he's like, you know, for me, he's like, yes, you are, and you have barely scratched the surface even now on what I'm doing, right? And then Yali was like, oh yes, congratulations, that's a success on what you're doing. So it's great when others see us, but I tell you, when you get clear and you start to see yourself, and when you can see yourself at 13 or 14,
Oh my gosh, sky's the limit.
it really is.
Sky's
So
the limit.
I always ask my guests questions because I love to get into their heads and figure
All
out
right.
what they're up to and everything. I know. Dun, dun, dun. That's so dramatic, I swear. Okay. What is your vision?
Oh, clear. My vision is to empower people. Right now, my focus is empowering teens because I believe that if anyone is going to change what is happening in our world today, it's our teens.
Yeah. After hearing that conversation this morning between two young men, 19 and 18, and listening to what they're talking about and how one is like, well, I'm not going to vote. My dad didn't vote. And then the other one is like, no, you need to vote because you need to be the change. That's your vision. That's coming to life, right?
Right. For them to get that they have a voice, that they are significant, for them to see their magnificence, that is my vision, is that every person, and I look at every interaction with that I have with people, whether it's with teens or adults, you know, doesn't matter where you are. If you come across my path, I am convinced that you're there for a reason, and there's something that I get to give you. Take with you on your journey.
Yeah. I love this.
Long term, some of them are short term. But yeah, actually, this.
Yeah. David, I truly believe this is one of the big whys. We are still talking about Jesus 2,000 years later. He was clear and he saw himself so clearly.
And I'm Team Jesus. I am so Team Jesus, you know.
I love that Team Jesus. Oh my gosh, I love it. It's so true.
You know, it's not, you know, I'm not religious. I'm very spiritual. I'm not like super religious, but I am Team Jesus. And I believe that, yeah, when you are clear on your vision, the universe will conspire to support you. And I've seen it over and over again, and I'm so clear on it. I don't even, like, when challenges come up, I'm like, oh, okay, that's a nice challenge. All right, let's go.
Oh, see, I'm not even playing around. So let me tell you what I said. I have a group of people who are supporting me on I Am This Woman, Sammy being one of them, right? And I sent them this morning a beautiful flyer for our one-day retreat down in Fort Lauderdale at the Marriott, you know, because I'm like, we get to show up like that, right? But then also in my Pinterest, I sent them a Pinterest link and I'm like, here's our future office, you know? So I'm letting the universe know right now, universe. Here we go. Right?
It's already done.
It is.
Wait, if I think it up, like, it's already done. It's already done. You know, I used to listen, Barbara, I used to sit back and like be concerned when I didn't have like all my enrollments up to where it was like maybe 3 people enrolled for like a 20-something person training. And I just would say, you know what? I'm here and I'm on this path. And if this training is scheduled, it's obviously supposed to happen.
Right.
And every time, it didn't matter if it was the last day, I would get all these enrollments and then do the training. The moment that I like released the worry. If you're walking your purpose,
right,
things, it'll line up. Like,
it really does. And I never worry about, like, when I do the show and people say, well, you know, how are you making money off of this? And how are you doing this? I'm like, oh, wait, boo, just wait. But right now, what I'm doing, well, now I have people coming to me going, there's something going on in our community with women. We want to be on the show. I want to talk to you about this. That's what it is, you know? So I love what Jolly said for the teens. That's right. The power is in their hands. We got Shauna, but Miss Shauna, I hope everything is well. Good to see you too. David just wrote that he says, I'm not super religious either, and there is something to be said for a human that has a bestseller he didn't even write thousands of years later. There are so many lessons. I follow and take notes from the great one like you too. Yeah.
Yes, and there's it's so rich. Like that is a rich body of work. Let me tell
Yes,
you.
it's true. Well,
Yeah,
everything that's
yeah.
transformational, if you look, it is literally like
Find it.
go back to the Bible.
You can
Like,
find it here.
yep, there it is right there. Yep. Because I work with teens, and every Sunday morning we have a team Zoom call, and so I work with these great group of teens for church, and so I bring a lot of transformation into that because you can look right there. It, you
Yeah.
know, believe it, not believe it, whatever your thing is, it's right there. And I like Shauna says, walk your purpose. Like that is so true. And then Yali, yes, Tamara Barber, even with the rest will come once you allow the universe to do their thing. Love it, you know.
And trust. And trust. And even if your first training is one person, do it like it's 1,000.
Look, I did my first show and I was like, I was like, hey, like Hannah was my first guest, right? And I was like, we're gonna do a show, and they're like, wait a minute, you're gonna do it live? And I'm like, yeah. So I did the first 10 shows live on my patio, right? And then all of a sudden, when this hit, you know, then show number 11 was like, okay, here we go Zoom, and now here we are with show 23. You know, all these other ones, more to come. So I love that. So in the next 45 days, what will you create?
In the next 45 days, I am going to create the online version of XTL 360. It's called XTL 360 Online Experience. We are launching our first one July 19th. And so if you have a teen or know a teen that is ready to jump in the driver's seat of their life, get them involved. I am, yeah, I'm committed to creating lots of content. Yeah, you'll be seeing me more online.
Nice. Well, you have to come back here also because you get to share with that. And they can go to extremeteenleaders.com, right, to find out more about that information. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And I
Last
love that you're doing this.
right now is I'm starting to expand the work that I do in corporate America.
Mm-hmm.
So I just created this site called The Extraordinary Presenter. And on my day job, I coach business professionals, executives on how to present. And I'm going to be sharing that body of work with my LinkedIn connections. And yeah, I'll see where that goes. That's just something else that I love to do. I love it. I love it.
I love that. And I love, so a little bit more about the extraordinary presenter. See, that's up my alley. So I'm like, what's that?
Yeah, it's about empowering people to show up powerfully. You know, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people when they get online, they turn into like this robot and they start talking like this, and they're not themselves.
Hello, how are you?
And so that happens so much in corporate America. They just want to be so polished and corporate, and it's inauthentic, and it does not connect with our customer base when they go to present with these $1 million solutions. And so I used to be a pursuit manager, and I would coach my teams in presenting. And before you knew it, people were asking me to come in coach their teams. And so I started coaching everywhere. And this year I got asked to do that full time. So now I am probably the only orals coach at Conduent right now. And that's what I've been doing. So I'm creating a side business on that to coach people in general on presentations.
Well, you know what's interesting is that I started to look at everything I do when I'm creating my workbooks and everything, and I'm all into the details. My background is creative and marketing. And so now I'm getting ready to start a little side thing because I see so many people putting out brochures and flyers, and it's like, did you look at this?
Yeah.
And so what I'm finding out is that it's something I do well. So being able to do that, it's really, really helping people to be able to say, if you're going to put this out, put your best foot out. And it doesn't mean you might not know how to do it, and that's okay, right? But
Yeah.
then bring on the people who know how to do it. So I'm starting to do that, and it's really helping some people who I'm working with to bring, like, they'll give me their 33-page ebook, and it was so, and then in a few hours I give it back and say, here you go, and it's like, oh, you brought it to life.
One more thing I'm creating. So the next
Yeah. So
thing that I'm creating
yeah.
is I'm writing a book. I'm writing a book.
I'm writing one too right now. I finally started writing my book.
And listen, I reached out to Francine Ray, right? And I was like, Francine, I need some coaching because the title of this book, the teens love it, and I'm like nervous about like the parents and what they're saying.
Okay.
But the title of the book is going to be Unf-withable, right? A teenage guide to overcoming bullying, self-doubt, and low self-esteem.
You know what I did? I just threw my cards. I just threw.
Every time I share the title, I was gonna name it The 7 Principles of Teen Life Mastery, but that was like so boring. I'm like, I need something that when a teen sees this book, they're gonna be like, what is that? And read it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I love that. And I love, I love that Trinette, what she says is she says authentic visibility. Like and then she even said, like, with your book title, like, I love it because there's so many out there who are needing that. And Trinette, with your daughter, you might want to think about getting her into this teen online program.
This first one is gonna be it's my gift to our student leaders.
Yeah, so you might want to make sure you get her on there. And then, I love it. David has said yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
and then
that title, and I was like, oh, that's really cool too. Yeah.
And David has, like, now you're speaking my language because of his title and everything. So I think that's the thing about it is sometimes you don't know. You're thinking, oh, can I do this? I've sat on my book for years, and now I'm like, you know what? Whatever. And what I love is I didn't know how it connected. So my book is I Am This Woman, the Chronicles, right? And it's all these stories of women. It's all these incredible stories of women sharing. And so it's like, yes. So, and there's little hidden gems in there, but I'm finally going, what the heck? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do it,
Yeah. So
yeah.
Like, so appealing to teens.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. I love.
If there was a twin, if I had a twin that is passionate about young people, it is Anne. If you have a teen and your teen needs a coach, like, call Anne Fraser. Like, when I tell you amazing work with teens, like she literally helped me build Florida.
Wow.
Like, she was actually, I believe she might have even been, she staffed Wilkinson's trainings. Like, amazing.
Look at this. I just got you. What's the link to her teen program? So,
and David, I think, David, you need to write my foreword because of that. Like, you need to write the foreword of my book. Like, David, let's talk because I want you to write the foreword of the book.
I think that's so awesome. I think that if you think of David, do you hear that? I'm like, David, I hope you're still on here. If not, make sure you put it in there. And so I think with Trinette, she's like, what's the link to her team program? Oh, so hold on. We got so many pop-ups. I can't even believe this. So Trinette, first of all, the link to your team program is going to be, Tamrah, tell them, please.
Yes, www.extremeteen, as in teenager, leaders.com. extremeteenleaders.com. You can find us on Facebook too, and there'll be a link there as well. So you can look up Extreme Teen Leaders Inc. on Facebook, and you can actually see all of our reviews, all the shares that the parents have.
Let me give you a review, Jeanette. You need her. You need to put your daughter in this program. It's not even I gave you a review right there. And we'll make sure that we put it in here. So, by the way, Annie said, thank you. Let's see. We got Madeline. I'm so happy for the both of you that you both are rocking it live. David's like, yes, done deal. I would be honored. We are building the UnNation together. Such important work. Trinette's like, thank you. And I can't wait to get back to the training the teens. I was with Wilkinson in a training. He's an amazing young man. It's like crazy. Okay, let's get back to questions. So here's the thing about it. Back in January, I remember we were both in the training room when we found out that Kilby Bryant and his daughter and the other individuals were lost. And so something hit me, and it really had me start to think about like, what is it that I want to leave? Because I think in his last 3 years, he said basketball was his first love. He learned to love something else when basketball was over. And then his last 3 years, he created something so magical. So for me, when we talk about this, what is your legacy? If you're going to leave this legacy, what is Tamrah Barber's legacy?
Wow, it made me cry.
I've been told I'm like the question whisperer, by the way, just to let you know. I love putting those questions out there. Like, the ugly cry.
Wow. Yeah, my legacy, again, clear that every person that comes across my path leaves with something that they didn't have before, that they are empowered, that when they remember our interaction, they're like, wow, she made a difference in my life, whatever that is.
Of
And
course, you said
that's
that.
my legacy, because I believe that your legacy is created with every interaction,
Amen.
period. And your legacy is not like this one big thing that you get to do. It's a series of interactions and impacts that you make in people's lives every day.
I
That
love that. David said, talk about a lightning round when two people who are clear come together, magic becomes possible. Boo, we knew on this one here that this was going to be a, oh my gosh, like here we come. So we put our earrings on because we're trying to be all cute. By the way, she copied my hairstyle because she was always like, I love your hair. But you were so afraid to do it, right? And then all of a sudden you did it.
Ooh, but let me tell you, the moment that she said snip, like empowerment, I felt it.
I say it's where Hercules. I say when it's like that's what I felt like to me when my hair, like I own this haircut. Then I've been just cutting it. I was like, oh, it needs a little trim, right? And then I come on here and I got my earrings on, and I'm like, here I am, everybody.
Right, I am this woman. Ha.
I'm so crazy. And Madeline, Extreme Teen Leaders is the best program we'll always support, even when I don't staff.
Oh, I
And
love Madeline. Oh my gosh.
isn't that cute? I love that.
That, she's an XTL ambassador as well. Yes.
Um, so one of the things I would ask is what keeps you going?
Wow. The letters and the feedback that I get from teens. I'm telling you that the first letter that I got from Charlie that was like, I saved her life. And seeing them have their breakthroughs now, seeing them let go of the past, like that's it for me. That will wake me up out of my sleep at 4 a.m. to go and type something up, or that'll have me work. Like my husband always jokes in the trainings, like, oh my gosh, you guys should see her. Like she's in the bed and her laptop is on and she's like asleep. I can't tell you how many times in the night I have to like take off her glasses and close her laptop because she's like already asleep, like there.
And I tell you what I love is what keeps me going is that, you and your darling husband will like the way you guys support. And what I love is that whether I'm helping in teen training, whether I'm doing the show, you constantly support. You constantly are like, I remember like you guys were like, yeah, there's something, like you got it, like from the first time we met. And that's the difference. And I think that's what I'm building with I Am This Woman, is that I want I want people to know that they got that, that they can do this, and that if this is their dream, like make it happen. So you're such a beautiful example of what can be done, and that's what I did. I just watched you and I went, oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
like so proud. And when you're in that space of giving and being in service, all this that I make up that because I was for those months, that this kind of came because this kind of was born during that time. When I was in the trainings, I'm sitting there writing things and going,
I saw it happening. You were like
yeah,
writing notes, and like before like Sam, she was like my assistant, and then she was like, you enrolled her into supporting you, and I'm like, ooh, it's happening.
it's happening. And it is. It's crazy. I love that. David said, 4 a.m. writing, the magic hour, been there. And so we're coming to a wrap up, right? So what is the last thing that you want to kind of leave people with? What is the thing that you want to say, hey, take this?
That's the one thing when we talked about being on the show. I didn't want it to be about extreme teen leaders.
Right.
I wanted it to really land for women and men watching the show, as a reminder that you're created with purpose, and to find that purpose and you might not know what it is, but keep at it, keep trying things like you were dibbling in this, dibbling in that, and you keep being in action until you actually find something that sparks something in you, and then give yourself over to it, go fully down that path. And if that's it, you'll know. If it's not, go try something else. If that's not it, go try something else until you find that thing that lights you up. And then go, I tell it's level 6, level 5 in the trainings, go like level 5. That means 100% all in creation mode, and watch the magic that happens and watch the impact that it has in your life, and be about helping other people.
So true. Be in service to others. And you know what's so wild is like the whole premise of I Am This Woman is like we know women, we are women, we support women, is because it really is. And what we're finding out is that in turn men also, so it kind of blends. But I love that because being that way, it has opened up so much.
Yeah.
So again, we have our wonderful guest, Tamrah Barber, who,
So excited.
you know, my gosh, extremeteenleaders.com is this one part where, so if you have a teen, program, you're offering a free program, right? Which is incredible, incredible, before, David, it's landing. Thank you for the reminder that a vision is made up of a lot of things.
Yeah.
And then Catherine, you are created with purpose. Yes. I know, right? Right? There you go. Look at that. Don't you love that when that shows up? And so if you have a teen, if you know a teen, like my nephews went, I took them to the training every week and everything. So, and they're still involved, right? Their training has been going on and on and on.
Yeah, they chose to extend.
They chose to keep on, right? I know, crazy, right? But it is. But if you have one, it's such a great time and everything. And here's the thing, Tamrah's going to be looking at the messages that are from this show. She'll make sure to respond. So if there's someone you know, please, please, please make sure. It is so worth it. It is the greatest gift that I could have given. When my sister-in-law tells me, thank you for making a difference for my kids, that tells me everything right there. So Tamrah, one of the things that we always do to end the show is we always say your name and say, I am this.
I've been waiting to say this since I first saw the show. And I say it every time they say it, I say it like watching.
Oh my God. Yes. I'm dying. I'm literally dying. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, go for it.
Okay. I am Tamrah Barber, and I am this woman.
I swear, I'm gonna do a whole little video of everybody doing "I am this woman." So.
Oh my gosh, I've been practicing that forever. Like, I have multiple variations of it.
Okay, give me one more. Give me another variation.
I am Tamrah Barber, and I am this woman. That was my soul sister version.
Trinette talking about, all right now. So I was like, yes. It makes me laugh. Of course, I knew you were going to go to that next level. Okay, guys. So I love this. And Madeline said, yes, you are. And David said, yes, you are. And Trinette is like, I like this one. I'm like, I love it. So guys, this is so cute. So everyone, so first of all, if you're interested, if you have a teen, if you know a teen, if you have a friend, someone, this program is next level. So please, extremeteenleaders.com, send a message here to Tamrah. So she'll be looking at those and everything. And your program, Tamrah, you said for June is coming up on June 19th and 20th,
yes.
Correct? Mm-hmm. So online version, right? We have a June 19th and 20th here. And if you're interested, because you're like, how do I be a great presenter? The Extraordinary Presenter is coming. So I think that that's something that's really exciting to look at. First of all, I talked to you about the book. I'm still looking for a few more women to be part of the book, is sharing your story. So if you're interested, book at IamThisWoman.com. It's just really, I'm going to tell you, the book, every time I tell someone about the book, they're like, oh my gosh, it's good. And I'm finally brave enough, and I'm just like, to heck with it. I'm going to do it. It ties in with everything I'm up to. If you're like, my gosh, that Barbara, she's so amazing, and I want to be friends with her.
You do. You absolutely want to be friends with this woman right here. Yes, absolutely. Your life will never be the same. It will never be the same. Like, yes, you are. You are missing out. You are,
Oh my gosh.
I'm so sorry for my friends with Barber. I'm just saying.
So contact me at I am this Barbara at I am this woman.com. And we are almost done with our website. So we are looking for guest bloggers. What I Am This Woman is about is not just about me saying, hey, look at me. It is about all of these women because we celebrate women every day. So we would love to have, if you're interested in submitting a blog, Trinette submitted a blog. She's going to be part of it. We have some amazing bloggers who are submitting. So please submit a blog that really just supports what women are up to. And just, so blog at iamthiswoman.com. Please do that. And, guys, Tamrah, first of all, again, like, oh, I love this. And Soul Sister version rocks.
Yes. Oh my
This is the Soul Sister version, right?
Oh my
and
and
oh my God.
you need to get her on here too. She has an incredible overcoming life story. Like
so Annie, would you like to be on the show? Send me a message. Yeah, and be on the show. I would love to have you on the show for sure. We got, yes, everybody is like enjoying this Soul Sister version of I Am This Woman. Yes. So everyone, we want to thank you for being on I Am This Woman. Tamrah, thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for what you do for the teens. Thank you for what you do for the world. And just thank you for who you are as a person, and I love you and I appreciate you so much.
I love you so much.
So guys, let's see. Yeah. Oh, yes. She said, yes. Trinette, thank you. Great show. Trinette, make sure you get in there, get with Tamrah, get your daughter in that program. She's going to love it. And guys, so the Soul Sister version of I Am This Woman is complete. I try my best to keep the show to like, people tell me the show's too long, right? And it's like, okay, so I'll try 45 minminutes. But then what ends up happening is
I could do like another hour. Like,
you know what? I'm serious. So Tina said, hello everyone. Hi Tamrah. And then we've got post up your link in the comments, Barber. I will make sure to do that. And then Daniela, yay!
I love her. Oh my gosh. Yes.
I know.
Oh, we're coming.
Who told us we could do this? I don't like. Last week on Tuesday, I had Norman Liverpool that we were like, we need to do a show because we were so much fun. I'm going to have to tell you every now and then we're going to have to do something like this because this was fun. This was fun. This was fun.
You put us together.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm going to give you one more chance to say your name and say, I am this woman because you loved it so much. Go ahead.
Okay. I am Tamrah Barber, and I am this woman.
And guys, I am Barbara Horde, host and founder, and I am definitely this woman. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week. Take care now. Bye, everyone.